Hello everyone, Spaced Oyster here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age. In the last episode, we made our way through most of the Stillshrine of Miriam, and fought a boss who was so irrelevant I completely forgot his name, despite filming this immediately after killing it. And today's episode will be moving forward. Just a quick note, or quick semi-note anyway, I did spend most of my character's license points, so there are a few very small changes. First up is that Penelo now knows Kiraga instead of just Kira. I was having her make do because I forgot to get her Kiraga. Second is that I also made sure for my two healers, Bosch and Penelo, that they can equip the Sage's Ring, which we found in that last boss room, which reduces your MP cost by half. I also did a little investigating on Vaughn's license board, and I'm going to not get Ninja Swords 2, since getting this quickening one right here, the 100 cost one for Vaughn, unlocks the Black Magic 5 and 6 on Ulan. Not necessarily the best thing to get, but considering none of the other quickening unlocks get anything for his Ulan job, I figured it was a worthwhile investment. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. Vaughn won't be picking up Ninja Swords 2, which is just one, by the way. And yeah, Penelo and Bosch are going to be casting their healing spells at half the cost. Anyway, now that we turn those statues all the right way, we get this special cutscene upon leaving the room. Neat, the way past the Colossus is opened. You could say it's the opened way. I doubt anyone will see that as a joke. The Opened Way was a soundtrack on Shadow of the Colossus that played semi-frequently while you were fighting them. Now, if only I could figure out how to get back there. Let's try that teleport crystal behind it. I know that usually unlocks the bonus boss, but you need to have a certain item in your inventory that it is impossible to obtain at this point. So we'll just see what it says here. Read the inscription. Nethicite bearer, embracer of Dawn's light, I summon you. Okay, let's do nothing for now. Let's equip Fran with the Dawn shard, and hopefully this will take us where we wanted to go. Touch the device. And if not, then I guess we can use the other one near the entrance and walk there the old-fashioned way. But no, this is totally the one we wanted. Okay, Fran, time to re-equip. Let's put you in a battle harness. And slow thing. Here's that special enemy, Negalmur. I think he has a little over 3,000 hit points, so just make sure your characters are targeting enemies below 3,000 if you see him and you want to AFK grind, and they should target only his summoned zombies. But like I said, he's capable of inflicting doom, so that becomes very tricky. Because then you need to perfectly manage your remedies, and how much you can grind on him is limited to how much you can withstand doom, and withstand doom and then get away. Just keep dealing with the zombies as they pop up. It can be tricky, but it is manageable, and doable without a time battle mage, unlike the one with the jellies in the Hene Magicite mines. Of course, there are a few other methods. They're not AFK, but they do reward a lot more EXP, so it could be a lot better in the long run. Or, I guess, in this case, the short run. Read the inscription! Wisdom proven, assay now your power. Well, that doesn't sound ominous. How much you want to bet there's a boss behind the door that we're gonna have to beat the snot out of? Oh, hey, look at that. I was completely right. And another thing for my Final Fantasy XIV viewers out there, well, those of you who play Final Fantasy XIV, is you should recognize this boss as Matius. So the biggest thing to keep in mind about Matius here is that he has got a bunch of enemies flanking him. Sorry, trying to get some gambits set up to deal with him. He's got a bunch of ice sprites flanking him, and you're going to want to be able to deal with them. An official guide mentioned that that you can just spam a lightning AoE on them, and it'll make short work of them. But I wouldn't really recommend it. And I forgot to pick up a gambit I want, so this might be tricky. Okay, well, for now, yeah, he casts Reflect on himself, so it's going to be a bit tricky. I'm going to have Ash use up a moat, something, so that way she's not going to hit me with Thundara. And I interrupt her spell, so that way I don't get hit by it. Matius is just gonna keep that Reflect up, isn't he? Okay. Nello, you can dispel that. I forgot to pick up an enemy status Reflect Gambit, so that's gonna be a bit tough. As you can see there. Ash, get up here. Oh, and the enemies themselves, they like to cast Sleep. I forgot to equip stuff to deal with that. Let's see, I do have some... There we go, Ninshin Belts. I'm going to equip everyone with Ninshin Belts, so that way I can not deal with the sleep. Penelo's going to have to deal with that, though. Let's go ahead and wake her up. Where is the Prince's Kiss? I'm surprised Moral Guardians didn't get in a huff about, oh, they called the item that wakes people up a Prince's Kiss because, you know, they want to convince people to have to be attracted to men or something to that effect. And you know what? Since Ash is not being very useful, we're going to go ahead and equip her with the 6-fluted pole. And I'm going to change her gambits to be offensive for the moment. Let's move this up. Oh wait, no, I don't have to do that. I'm going to move that up anyway, but I can actually move this all the way up too. Very, very handy, just changing the priorities. And he's using slow a lot, but it's not an issue when you have a time battle mage in the party. And yes, despite the fact that that is a woman's body on the front there, Matius is in fact a man. The lady that's there, Matius kidnapped her. She was a shrine maiden, and Matius kidnapped her to try and use her as a human shield. Although I probably should have saved that for the bio, because they explain that there. I'm going to go ahead and pick that item up. I'm going to run around as Penella to get it, though, so that way she can more easily move around and yet still be in range to do things, unlike Ash or Fran, who will have to stay close. Oh, that's sap. That might be tough to deal with. Penella, do you know regen? You do know regen. Okay, let's use it on Fran first. There we go. And then Penelo's going to use regen to get rid of Ash's sap. You know, I should probably change their accessories to deal with that now that I have the ice sprites out of the way, because those are the only things dealing the ice element damage. Bubble Moat! Yeah, a bit of a tricky boss battle, but that was me being unprepared to handle it. I forgot to buy the right gambits and everything. But a win is a win, and improvised wins are often my favorite. You know, necessarily because they're a true testament of your skill, as opposed to having to just having everything go perfectly. I mean, everything going perfectly is a good test of skill too, but being able to adapt on the fly when shit hits the fan is also a very good test of skill. Now I'm just rambling again. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn off my gambits. Just decoy anyway. Let's move Ashes. Faux lowest HP Gambit back down, and re-equip her with her Blizzard Staff. Sorry, Glacial Staff. And then let's look at Mateus, see who gets to summon him. And her, because, you know, there's another one there. Let's see. Generally, when you're looking for who to give an Esper to, I definitely recommend prioritizing what it unlocks for that character, as opposed to ooh, I think it'd be cool if they summoned him or her. I think there are some female Espers. It'd be weird if there weren't, right? Yeah. Although I think I've already made my choice on who gets Mateus. Yep, it's going to Balthier, because it unlocks White Magic 6 and 7. And having Esuna on another character is going to be so handy. Yeah, I'm slightly playing favorites with Balthier there, since he's gotten both of the Espers I've found so far, but he's not getting them all, trust me. It's a bad idea to put all your Espers on one character. Oh, speaking of putting things back the way they were, I should also give Penelo back her Sage's Ring. Anyway, once you've beaten Mateus, you can go into this back room here, and we will get the Sword of Plot Advancement.
You should try it on the Dawn Shard. See if it can destroy Nethicide or not.
What?
He just may be onto something. The Dawn Shard's no use to us, after all.
The stone bleeds mist.
It has been roused. It fears the sword. The stone is quiet.
This is the sword, the Nethicite destroyer.
Should it find its mark?
Vaughn! Tell me, did you see him again?
I didn't. Not a thing. Not even my brother. Not anything.
Alright, so the Sword of Kings. It is a pretty unique weapon in that it's fully equipable, and, I thought that would just automatically change my characters. Anyway, it's a fully equipable weapon that you can totally use. It's not going to be much better than most of the things that your characters are already able to equip, so I wouldn't really recommend using it, although you can if you want to. Mainly, it's just a gimmick. It's technically the first greatsword you get your hands on, but aside from being a sword of plot advancement, it doesn't really do much of anything for you. Just a kind of handy tool for your mages to fall back on if their main equipment isn't being all that great. But I've got ways for my mages to deal damage if their magic isn't up to snuff, or their weapons. Might be useful for Penelo, though. No, Penelo can just equip a mace, if I had bothered to buy her one. I'm already pointing out the flaws of my own tactics. Anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and leave this Stillshrine of Miriam here. And I don't know what's up with that accent, don't bother me about it. Touch the device. I do generally want to follow that advice I got, which would be to end the episode off shortly after getting the Sword of Kings, since that's a pretty big moment. But there's one more big moment that follows up right after this, so I figured let's go ahead and do that too. Oh, spoiler alert, I guess there's another big moment coming up. Yeah, they dropped ice shields. I guess we could have equipped them while fighting Matius, although I think it would have been much more handy to equip lightning resistance stuff, so that way you could take out the sprites without having to worry about reflect. And if I had bothered to buy the right gambits, I could have dealt with reflect easier. Well, what do we have here?
Debts grow legion.
There.
Smoke.
What could it mean?
Nothing good, I bet. But you should have recognized that guy as Judge Zagabarth, I believe that's how it was pronounced. I love the way Judge Drace said his name, but it's really tough to pronounce. A lot of names in fiction are. Like, I saw this one Facebook post that was basically this game of guess if this word is medicine or a name in Lord of the Rings. And I honestly could not tell one way or the other. Ooh, a Bergonet. I have no idea what that is. Let's find out. I want to say it's a weapon, but it's most likely a hat, and weaker than what I'm currently. Oh, I thought that was an ice elemental for a second there, but no, it was just Ash's ice element attack landing. Yeah, black mages, they make short work of everything. Red battle mage too, to be fair, but definitely black mage has the edge on the pure spell casting point. Let's see, since we got flying enemies ahead, Fran's going to equip her... I believe the hunting crossbow is stronger. Yes, the hunting crossbow is my strongest crossbow, and I'm gonna put on the long bolts. Probably gonna have to sell stuff. I am getting a over-encumbered inventory. But the reason why a black mage is actually going to have more magic power than pretty much every other job in the game is actually related to their equipment. The magical staves that black mage gets directly increases their magic stat. However, in spite of that being a direct thing, I still wouldn't recommend pairing black mage with any other dedicated mage because, well, yeah, the overlap in job abilities and the fact that all the mages, including black mage, need all their gambit slots to pull off their roles effectively. Although that said, there are some good late game spells that are non-elemental. You can totally use those to a great effect. And I don't need you to have your crossbow equipped anymore, so let's put that hammerhead back on with a diamond shield. Oh, good. I was worried that an enemy on the map up there was an elemental, but it was just a skeleton off in the distance. I still do not like elementals in the slightest. They're all horrible. I suppose I could just cut the whole run back out. I haven't experimented too much with cutting footage out and then splicing it together. It might be worth giving it a shot this time. But then again, Mount But-Omisace wasn't that far from the Stillshrine, so worth it, I suppose. That, and there was that semi-useful stuff about black mage weapons. Anyway, before I sell things, let's go ahead and make it back to where the Grand Kiltius was at. Because that's where the ominous smoke of ominousness was coming from. Or maybe it was just the whole mountain. But either way, we should go check on that guy. I mean, he was old and just standing there, and he was asleep most of the time. Very, very rude. But also completely defenseless. So, yeah, let's just go and make sure he's okay. Hey, you know what's going on? You must not go near the temple. The judge, he is still there. His Grace Anastasis attempts to reason with him within. Well. A judge, you say? Okay then, since we know there's a judge in there, things might, possibly, maybe, most definitely turn hostile. Let's go ahead and set my gambits up. Yeah, that's probably all I need. I could have Fran, use decoy on herself as well. I should probably set that up actually, just in case Pinello gets too preoccupied. Very, very, very handy having a tank that can do that to themselves.
princess. Swift has your lust for revenge led you to the Sword of Kings. You will surrender it to me. Too late, and to their sorrow do those who misplace their trust in gods learn their fate.
There it is again.
Fran, I don't like the look of that.
This mist. He holds a stone. It controls him as it did Miriam.
No, the power of manufactured nethicite is the power of man. A weapon forged by his wisdom who would challenge the gods themselves. A fitting blade for a true dynast king. Wraithwall did but pretend the title, a cur begging nethicite scraps from his master's table. Hark! Evilise hails her true dynast king, Vain Solidor. He shall defy the will of the gods and see the reins of history back in the hands of man. His time is nigh! The new Evilise holds no place for the name down Masker. The stain of Wraithwall's blood shall be washed clean from history's weave.
In fact, I'm gonna set that gambit up on Fran right now. Let's see. And since she's putting it on herself, I can just set it up self decoy. There we go. Yeah, for Judge Bergen here, he has some enemies come in and flank you as you enter, but they're not really worth considering, and he makes a very, very slow approach to the party, so you have plenty of time to dispatch with them before he actually makes it to you. And it does look like he counterattacks a lot, so any buffing you can do will be helpful. Do make sure you have decoy up so that way he's attacking your sturdier party members. And yeah, he shouldn't be all that tough at all. I'm actually gonna dispel him real quick. Gotta keep that at L2 in. There we go. I guess you could also use what's the name of the word? Shell and protect if you'd like as well. Well, just protect. He's not using magic, so shell's irrelevant. Wait, did he just block the spell? Oh wow, he is doing a lot of damage. But it doesn't matter.
He set his very bones about with manufactured nethicite. The Grand Kiltius?
Wait, what about Larsa?
Gone, spirited away by Judge Brandt.
You okay?
So he was here. As for our young lordling, he went along. To avoid trouble, you see, but Judge Bergen had other ideas. He flew into a rage, and I was left to fend for myself. Please, Princess, you must permit me to take you back with me to Rosaria.
So that you can protect me?
I would lay down my life, at a single word to be sure, but I harbor no mundane delusions of valiant grandeur. Vane has our war pavilion jumping at shadows. They favor a preemptive strike, but you will convince them otherwise. You will see that they do not start this war.
This I cannot do. Forgive me, but my errand here is not yet done. I must wield the Sword of Kings, and with it bring an end to the Dusk Shard.
this stone. Do you even know what it is?
I can venture a guess. The Draclaw Laboratory in Arcades. The Empire's weapons research begins and ends there. How soon do we leave?
At once. As for matters in Rosaria, I bid you luck.
So you would leave each to fend for his own. Let us hope that you are not disappointed. Ah, that's right. Larsa left a message. The differences between our two lands will fade before the shared dream of men. My leave, I take.
How do you propose we reach Arcades? Arcadia's borders will be well guarded for fear of Rosarian invasion. We dare not approach by air.
And their navy will see that the coast is watched as well. No, we go afoot. We'll cross into Arcadia in the Salika Wood. We can reach the wood any number of ways, but the easiest is to head north from Nalbina.
There is a hunter's camp just beyond the Salika Wood. The camp sits within Arcadia's borders, so Imperial patrols there should be sparse.
Getting that far should be half the fun. Let's be sure we go prepared.
Yeah, the game definitely drags on, and I probably shouldn't have kept going. I probably should have stopped right after we got the Sword of Kings, but it's done. Anyway, before you leave, make sure you talk to this guy here. Hume child, do you seek greater power? Know then the fate of those who have fallen in their search for strength. In the distant past, the Great Condemner, too, sought such power, and was stricken down by the gods. Even now, his spirit is bound within the Stillshrine of Miriam. Take this stone in hand, and walk the paths into darkness. And that reminded me, I forgot Matthias's bestiary entry. Let me go ahead and pull that up now. Let's see, bestiary. He should be down here, actually, near the bottom. Bosses. Espers. Matthias. Mina Ascendant. Scion of Darkness, ruling and protecting those who live in the underworld, in oppression to La Habrea, Abyssal Celebrant and Scion of Light. In the course of his rule, he submitted to avarice, and the darkness took his heart, transforming him until he was both evil and corrupt. Then, in his cowardice, did he bind a goddess of the depths of ice, and using her as a living shield, he challenged the gods. Defeated before their might, he fell screaming into the depths of hell, there to be imprisoned for eternity. Okay, yeah, I thought that was just a shrine maiden, but no, that's a total goddess. And the name La Habrea, that's another one I'm familiar with from Final Fantasy XIV. It was the name of a semi-prominent villain. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call that an episode here. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Spaced Oyster, signing out.